Today I'm going to teach you how to solve the KTANE module Palindromes, where we get a 9-digit number and add up a 9, 8, and 7-digit palindrome that adds up to the number on the module. We're going to be doing this in a nice, consistent way that does not require any guessing and checking. So if I just jump right into it, we switch to the manual here. I'm inputting the number from that first module we had, 8, 8, 5, 4, 1. 5, 4, 12. Okay. The first step, we're going to start by working from the left to the center, and the left will also fill in the right slowly. So we'll just end up in this center column here. That's not the center column. That is the center column. I'm dumb. So starting off, the first thing we need to check is if this second column is a 0, our first number in X needs to be 1 less than our final. But since this number is 1, which is higher than 0, we can just put a 4 there. And we need to autofill the 4 at the end of X. The next step is to take the sum of all the boxes in this next column, which there's no numbers in and is 0. And we want this sum to be 1 less than we want this final digit to be, because we want to make sure that if this next column is more than 10, we have enough empty space to be able to carry that 1 over here and it won't mess up our palindrome. So 1 less than 1 is 0, and then we'll place a 0 all the way on the right. And now on the very right side, we have 4 and 0, and it has to add up to 1. So 4, 0, and 7 adds up to 11. And that locks in our first three, our first number of each number. I'm saying number a lot. And now we basically repeat the steps. So it's a little different this time. Instead of the number being 0, if this number at the top is equal or less than the number at the very bottom in Z, then we put a 1 at the start of our X. Otherwise, we put a 0. This is because this column will be guaranteed to have to add up to over 10, because there's no way to add something to 7 and have it be 4, which is less than 7. So we put our 0 there, put a 0 at the end, and now we repeat the step where the sum of this column should be 1 less than our top number. 7 plus 6 is 13, which is 1 less than 14. You can see when I put this 6 in, it marks this previous 1 as correct, because we're now carrying the 1 and the numbers are all happy. So we get this 6 here, and we can finish out the bottom of Z with another 7, because 6, 7, and the 1 from the 1's digit carries over. So we have another 7. And now repeating the steps here in this column, 7 is less than 8. So we can go ahead and put a 1 in the X, put our second 1 in. And then we look at Y. The difference between these is 8 is 1 greater than 7, so we like that number, and we're just going to put a 0 here, and then finish out our Z with a 3. Hooray, the numbers are all happy. This number is still smaller, obviously. I don't know why I thought that number. This number, 3, is smaller than 8, so we can go ahead and put a 1, and then another 1. And from here, you don't really have to do it. You could just say, like, oh, I want to put a 4 here and a 4 there, because these two numbers in the middle of X and Z, you can put whatever you want, and you don't have to worry about having to put it somewhere else because they're the middle of the palindrome. But say you wanted to, there's a difference. Our 8 is 5 greater than 3, so we want 1 less than that, so we'll put a 4 there. That's unintentionally what I did. Whoops. And then we get a 3 here and a 1 there. So now if we go back to the game, the way to input this is click the numbers. Submission's pretty simple. It's nice since it's a palindrome. It submits the second half of the numbers for me. 0604 7733. And as you can see, that's really all there is to it. I'm now going to show an example where the second number is 0, because that'll change the first step as I mentioned it before. So if we go back to the manual here, 204041841. So since the second number is 0, we want our first digit in X to only be a 1. We'll add a 1 there. And the sum here, even though there's nothing, is 0. And we want it to be 10 this time because it's just safer to do it this way. It's possible that our 3 numbers in the next column add up to more than 4. And so the way to play it safely is if we put a 9 here, and then another 9 on the other side of Y, and then a 1 at the bottom finishes out that digit for Z. This 1 is less than the 4, so we can go ahead and put a 1 there, which makes our first 2 numbers happy. 1 is 3 less than 4, so we put a 2, another 2, and that number is already happy, so we can put in a 0. This 0 here is the same, so we are going to want to put a 0 here in case we are forced to put a number into any of these boxes. And then 0 minus 0 is 0, but in this case we're going to treat the top one as a 10. So we want to have a 9 here, so that is 1 less than the 0 at the top. And we repeat the steps. Oh, wait, I didn't put in a 0, that's why. The way this interactive works is, for some reason, when you put in a 0, if I put in like a 1, this number gets upset because there's no 1 here, and that's not a palindrome, but it doesn't do that with zeros. So now continuing that, this 9 plus 9 is 18. Put in the second 9. 9 is greater than 4, so we want a 0 at the top of X. 9 plus 5 is 14, so we're going to add 4. Put a 4 there. 6, and that number's happy with a 0. So if we switch back to the game, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 9, 2, 9, 4, 1, 0, 9, 6. Okay, and now just for fun, at the end of the tutorial, I'm going to show what this method looks like when you're going through it super quickly. So we have our 1 palindromes here, 2, 5, 0, 1, 6, 4, 2, 4, 7. Switch the game to the manual. Not a 0, so we can safely put a 2 there. 4, 4, 1, 1, 0, 0, 8, 8. It's less than 7, so 6, 6, 0, 0, 4, 4, 7, 7, 0, 0, 8, 8, 5, 0. And then we go back into the game. And we're all solved in under a minute. Once you get used to this method, the game is so loud. Once you get used to this method, it's really super nice and easy and consistent to do on bombs, and makes this module heckin' funny.